Hello everyone, my name is Feiqi Huang. Today I'm going to briefly introduce this project, the Audit Evidence Index project. Okay, let's first talk about the motivation of this project. The Audit Standard 15 requires that audit to collect, accumulate, and evaluate audit evidence to determine whether the sufficient and appropriate audit evidence has been obtained to reduce the audit risk to an appropriate low level and afford the auditor to make a formal audit opinion or to make an audit decision. And the evaluation process of the efficiency and appropriateness of audit evidence require the professional judgment and the professional skepticism. And a lot of research focus on these two topics, but most of them using the behavior research. However, field private literature focus on the quantitative analysis of professional judgment and the professional skepticism. So, the purpose of this project is to build an audit evidence index, which qualifies audit evidence for. So, how should I do here? So you can just cut this part and redo the purpose part. Okay. So the purpose of this project is to build an audit evidence index, which quantifies the audit evidence evaluation process. And the potential benefits of this index, the AEI, is help auditor to use it as a guidance to help them measure and evaluate the sufficiency and appropriateness of the evidence they gathered. And another benefit is for the auditor or audit firm. So actually, the increased transparency of the audit evaluation process will enhance the audit quality because the audit firm can compare the AEI across different engagement process, which enhance the audit quality. And the data we will use for this project is the actual audit work paper. We are working with a public audit firm, and they provide the audit work paper to us. So basically, the audit work paper provides the natural timing and extent of auditing procedure planned, the work performed, the purpose of each work, and the source of the information, and the conclusion reached by the auditor in each step. So here is the preliminary framework. This is the audit process, the standard audit process. The first audit will conduct the risk assessment and assign the risk level of each account and develop overall audit plan and the program, such as assign the audit approach and assign the importance of each audit account. And then the auditor will perform the substantive test, and then they will collect and accumulate the evidence. And here, the auditor needs to evaluate the audit evidence. So there are three potential results. So if the final score, which is the AEI, is higher than the C1, which means it is sufficient and appropriate, so the auditor can directly issue an audit opinion. And if the final score is lower than C1 but higher than C2, which means it is insufficient evidence, so the auditor may go back to the substantive test to collect more information, collect more evidence. And if the final score, the AEI, is lower than C2, which means there may have some inherent problem, so the auditor may go back to the risk assessment step to redo the risk assessment for the whole audit project. And here is how the AEI calculated. So basically, we will have the risk level for each account, and for example, for the payroll account, the point is X, which is importance level of this account. And for different level, so the financial statement level, the classes of transaction level, and the assertion level, we will have the X1, X2, X3, which is the importance of these three levels. And also, we will assign different audit approach, Y1, Y2, Y3, to different level. And then we will accumulate the audit evidence, which is a function of the evidence from the business environment, the evidence from the information system, and the evidence from the financial statement. So we will accumulate this evidence to have the evidence level E. So for each level, the AEI is calculated by the important level times the evidence level. So P1 equal to X1 times E1, P2 equals to X2 times E2. And for the whole account, this payroll account, the accumulated audit evidence is a function of P1, P2, P3. So you can simply add it to the P, the final score, but also you can use some other mathematical calculation to get this final score. Okay, that is pretty much for this project, and it is still in a preliminary stage, so we may update this information about this project after we got the actual data and linked the audit paper to each step of this framework. Thank you.